So it's mostly friends and family and some of the familiar faces today. It's nice to see you in this intimate atmosphere. So just to be honest with you, this is not going to be a technical talk. I'm more on the business development side, and I know I'm not your regular Web3 girl, probably because I'm not in flip-flops, so that was obvious from the very beginning. I'm going to tell you something about the project that we're building. But first of all, let me tell you something about myself. So my name is Emma. I'm the president of the of the Serbian Blockchain Initiative, and I am one of the founders of the supercluster for Web3 and blockchain that we are developing here in Serbia. So many people coming in. I'm so happy. Join us, please. Thank you. Also, my background is a little bit different. So I come from business and science background. By education, I'm doctor of medicine. I did my master's in healthcare management and a second one in computational finance. And I'm currently doing my PhD on the topic of using blockchain in medicine. And that's something that I really like. Also, besides that, I mostly worked in the corporate sector, as I said, at the business development and management part. I entered the world of modern technology and crypto in 2017. It was a good time at 2017. Not that much of regulation, a lot of projects going on. And I started working with Craig Sellers. He is one of the co-founders of Tether. And I was appointed to be the CEO of his foundation. After that, I worked as a business development manager for Swiss Rockets. That's a Swiss company, and we actually did one of the first STOs in Europe. We were raising money for the personalized medicine for cancer treatment. So, you know, when they tell you if you're the smartest one in the room, you're in the wrong room, I was always in the right room because my colleagues had Nobel Prizes. They were like really famous researchers, so it was quite an experience. I also had my own business, a clinic that was actually the first one who accepted Bitcoin for healthcare services here in Serbia, thanks to Aleksandar Mandanovic and ECD crypto exchange. So that was a good experience. Why am I telling you all of this? Because I need you to understand that when we started this project, and it was 2 years ago, we started from the point, what are we going to use this technology for? So I can see that there's a lot of struggle about developing the best technology there is to be the blockchains of blockchains. To be quite honest with you, I think it's much more important to go back to that question, why? Why are we even doing it? Is the blockchain really the solution? And what's the process of adoption in that way? So that's why I'm presenting you the next gen chain. Basically, we wanted to use asset tokenization as a tool to bridge the gap between the traditional and emerging markets and to create FDI opportunities. If somebody is not familiar with the FDI term, it's foreign direct investment projects and capital. So that's something that's interesting for everybody, how to get the money in. How do we get to this idea? Because Agile Dynamics, that's a business consulting international company. And we work in the Middle East, and we work in Asia, and we work with clients like Aramco, INEC, Abu Dhabi Ports, Abu Dhabi Government, and similar strategic execution, business architecture, and similar knowledge that we are sharing with them. And then Agile Dynamics Tech is a tech consultancy for the Web3 that's based in Singapore. And when we are working with our clients, we can see that everybody is struggling with the same topic, how to attract capital. It doesn't matter if you're a government or an enterprise or just a company, it is hard. We did one strategic workshop for Romanian government exactly on this topic, FDI. And you can see that they're offering a little different kind of projects that are, you know, return on investment is not that attractive. It's like fisheries, it's like different kinds of agriculture projects, but still not that good. Why are the growth markets the place to be, and why did we go to the growth markets? Because you can see here that they have some abilities and something they can offer us that other markets cannot. Strategic partnerships, it's something that you can really develop in the growth markets because they want opportunities. And also, this is the market that nobody's looking at. So everybody's trying to make it big in the US, in Europe, but trust me, this is something that you should really think about. Favorable regulation and incentives, I think that's clear why, and of course, high growth potential. That being said, there is a lot of problems out there. So we're working with Nigeria specifically. And to be honest with you, so when we are having these Zoom calls and meetings with their representative of the government and ministries, so it's like the internet goes up and down, and they're trying to, talk with us, and it is a struggle. But it is a problem of the poor infrastructure. It's a problem of lack of research and development department. They have a lot of regulatory barriers. They have limited access to capital. And this is really important, the first one. They have really limited access to capital. That doesn't mean they don't have a lot to offer. So, as you can see here, we are building something, the layer 1 blockchain, something that's going to be used. We are going to attempt to have that first really big and real mass adoption. And you can see here something that you probably already see so many times, that's going to be scalable, that's going to be highly customizable, that's going to be secure and private and everything else. And just to be honest with you, my personal opinion is that technology can grow that much as much money you put into it. So the development is depending on the resources, of course, on the expertise of the engineers. You need a really good team. And I'm really proud that we found the team of OG engineers, people who are really up to the task. They're also now here with you and looking at it. So probably you will see who are the OGs in the crowd. So that's extremely important. Why is that extremely important? We worked also with guys from all over the place. Binance, Algorand, I don't know, Cosmos, Clayton, Stellar, you name it, like we had it all. It's like we are not going to employ anybody who's like under 30 anymore. I'm so sorry. It's like, it still, in my personal opinion, once again, Web3 is still a business. So you cannot depend your whole history and your whole future on the fact, is it a bull market or a bear market? It needs to have a business model behind it. It needs to work, because in the end of the day, we need to eat, we need to pay the bills. I can see the organizer's face who's like, no, I'm sorry. I don't know who let me at this stage. Yes, that was your mistake. So once again, I think the technology, it is really important, but at the end of the day, once again, why are we building it and why are we using it for? I think it's even more important. And I can see a lot of projects that came to me, and that they have like a $5 million development plan for the ecosystem, or for the technology, or for the platform, or for some software solution. In the end of the day, I don't know what's the revenue, how are they going to make money, like why are they building this? So once again, we started from the next gen chain, and that we are building layer 1. What are we trying to do with it? And I will explain then what's the case study and what's our business model and how are we going to do it. We are going to solve limited access to capital, regulatory barriers, poor infrastructure. So all of these problems should go away. I will explain how. These are the 3 case studies in real world adoption that we see that make sense. Why? We did a study. I told you I'm from the research department. We did a study that's really big, and we basically took 126 protocols that are out there. We limited them to the 10 that are like the most famous ones, and we compared them by 41 metrics. To be quite honest with you, they are comparable. Some of them are faster, some of them are cheaper, some of them are more operable, but they have their flaws and they have their good usage of it. But in the end of the day, the biggest problem that all the systems have is users. So everybody is, the name of the game is adoption, who's going to use it and how are you going to monetize that process. Usually there are grants. And we spoke with a lot of foundations. Those grants, I don't know actually how they work. So they are giving you money to build something, but that needs to be built in an ecosystem, but the amount of money is actually the part of the money that they're all marketed, that they're going to give. So, it's like a little bit tricky to get into it. And at the end of the day, nobody's that motivated for the price of, I don't know, 20 or 30K to enter some ecosystem and building something on it, because there's no greater value from it. Then on the other hand, you have a lot of projects that happened just for like, quick run. So a really big hype, it's out there, everybody's looking at it, and then it flops quite quickly, because once again, there's no meat behind it. These are as I said at the beginning, we are doing something that's connected to the real world economy and something that's used in the Web3 world. I'm going to zoom in on the FDI potential. How are we working with Nigeria? So this is just the slide that we also showed to them to show them how big the opportunity it is. And this you can see above all of these statements and facts, you can see our resources. So this is something that's happening. And now you're having this. And now you have growth markets, and you have Nigeria, you have Brazil and Kazakhstan, who are filled with different kind of resources. So what are we doing? We are tokenizing mining productions. We are tokenizing the process, FDI, foreign direct investment as a service. Not commodities, not gold, but the whole productions of lithium, phosphate, gold, diamond, platinum, and similar to that. Why? Because that's something that we are going to need forever. Gold is not just to go around your neck. It's something that we need as a conductor. We need phosphates if we want to eat. We need a graphite if we want to use a new material, because the lithium is going to dry out. So that's something that we are doing, okay? Now, you're probably wondering, like, how the fuck are you doing that? Bear with me. So these are also the information, but I think it's not a shocker that everything is in Africa. So the biggest resources are happening there. Why nobody wants to work with Africa? Because they think they're going to steal your money because of the political situation, because everybody who is negotiating with you is doing that probably with a gun. So yes, it's a little bit tricky, but this is the framework. This is how we make money. So basically, we are taking that production and we are building an SPV in Hong Kong, special purpose vehicle. So we are doing this entity, now the shares of the mining production company, is now SPV in Hong Kong. So it's not a Nigerian company anymore, it's actually a company in Hong Kong. What's happening now? Everything that's connected to the security tokens, because we are tokenizing this and it needs to be a security token, is eligible to Hong Kong law or Singapore law, but Hong Kong digital asset law, preferably. And then, with that, we are going to the platform. At the very beginning, I told you that all of the technology is ours. So we are going to the platform, and we are selling those tokens. But those tokens are not for, they are meant for institutional serious investors. They're not for the investors who want quick return. So when we sell that to the investors, that money is not going to the mining production. It's going to a fund. And from a fund, we are now doing project funding for that mining production. Who's going to invest in that? Everybody that wants to be a part of this game in Africa, but in a transparent, credible way. So there's collateral. So you know we are tokenizing, and everybody who is in the business of exploration and machines for the production. And those are Chinese and mostly Chinese companies. So this is something that we are developing, and to be honest, when we talk with people who are like doing consulting for the mining resources for many decades, they were like, "Oh my God, that's amazing! You're like connecting the technology nobody believes in with the people that nobody believes that they can do something honest." So that's like a huge success for you guys. But when they saw the system, they're like, "Okay, this makes sense." And we have been waiting for this for many years, because also in the mining, you have a lot of shit. So you have people who are going to tell you I have this much gold, you know, some unrealistic numbers and prices that you cannot check up. And this is one of the things I talk with HCBC, the bank from the Hong Kong. You know, they digitalized gold. And I told them, okay, that's really cool, that's really nice, but it doesn't mean nothing to me because it's on a private blockchain. So you can tell me I have zillion in gold in my pocket, and you buy gold and I will give you. Like, amazing. How do I know that work? But the thing that they are true, and they pointed out something, when you're doing something this big, you need to do it on a government level. Because what are we also doing with this? We are doing the transfer of wealth. Because imagine now you have a couple of mining productions in Africa, and you're tokenizing them and taking the shares of those companies and putting them in Hong Kong. Now it's hundreds of millions. So you're basically doing the transfer of wealth in another country. These are all here. You can see what are the benefits of the asset tokenization, but I think you can probably, if you're a little bit in the topic, you can conclude yourself how is this happening. And just to be completely honest with you, why am I showing this like this? This is not something you can, like, somebody's gonna steal your idea. This is basically that I'm describing to you how to get on top of Mount Everest. I can show you the Mount Everest and I can show you the detail guide. In the end of the day, the name of the game is like, who is going to do this? we are very, very persistent people we serve, probably the foreigners. you handle that by now. So we are really persistent to do this by the end. What's the problem here? The biggest problem at this point is, of course, legal and compliance. So everything else, it's set. You can do the due diligence. You can find the perfect thing that you want to tokenize. You can do the whole process, but it needs to be done in a proper way, and that's why we chose Hong Kong. You can see here, as I told you before, the percent of it. Just a second. Yeah, I told you that the 3 biggest clients are Brazil, Nigeria, and Kazakhstan. This is the team, and I told you before, this is the team that left. Like 2 years ago, we started with many different projects. We tested out so many people from big companies, people with big salaries. They're so slow, nobody did anything. So that's also something that I learned during this process. In the end of the day, it's really nice to have a strategy, and it's really nice to have different frameworks and to brainstorm, but somebody needs to make money, and in the end of the day, somebody needs to work. This is the description of our phases that we are going through. So basically now we are at the point that we are negotiating with Solid Mineral Fund of Nigeria. Why am I telling you this? Because I had a lot of requests from investors, tycoons, especially from this part of the world, to tokenize something. Okay, this is really cool that you're doing. Now let us tokenize plane, boat, different kind of projects, and we are not interested in that. Why? Because this is very, very expensive to do all of this. Just the certification, just the licensing for the platform, just the lawyers, they're about 300K. So up to now, we spent about 2 million on all of this project. And now we are raising capital. We are looking for strategic partnerships and for the investors. But the thing is, it's really important, what are you tokenizing? So if you're, in my personal opinion, the biggest problem of the market today is that everybody's tokenizing something that's just not an attractive investment opportunity. This is how it should look like. The next-gen chain lab is going to be developing the next-gen chain. This is the advisory board, the foundation, the validator, so nothing new to see here. That's something that's quite common now at this moment. We are also proud that we have Professor Henrik von Schill in the team with us. So he's the guy who invented the term industrial revolution. He's working for World Economic Forum for decades, and he worked for like 25% of 500 companies. Really weird guy. I spent quite a lot of time with him in developing this investment models. Really cool, but like his vision and his mind is on a totally different level. So we were really happy that he jumped on with us on this path. These are some of the clients. As I said before, we started from the business consulting, business side, business development, and then leaned on the Web3 blockchain technology just to put it in a practical way and work on a project that we think that have sense from the adoption side. At the very beginning, very ending actually, I hope that this was interesting to you because it's not something that's quite common. It's something that we are approaching from the different side. And once again, I would just like to share my contact. So if anybody thinks this is interesting to even talk about, I'm absolutely there to grab a coffee and to chat on this topic. And I would like to say that some of my conclusions would be blockchain is the future. It is something that we should be educated on. It's something we should develop. But at the end of the day, we need to come back and think about it. Like, what's the purpose of it? Where are we going to use it? Is it going to create value? And I think that's quite important because in that way, we are going to share this value between us and we can grow together. And that's, I think, much better than just to have project under the project that's going to flop. So that's it. Thank you.
This it works now.
Thank you. This next gen chain, I'm assuming this is basically an application-specific blockchain for tokenizing FDI, you could say.
Layer 1 blockchain, yes. Our case is the platform that I showed, but the idea is, so this is how we are going to plan to do the adoption. You're starting with Nigeria and starting with their mineral solid fund. And let's say, for example, we do this successfully. After that, what can they do and put on that blockchain and develop their technical sovereignty?
Who is they? Sorry.
Nigeria. So they can put their layer 2.
Government.
And yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. They can put layer 2 and do other
Other
mines or
whatever
whatever they need FDI
Yep,
for.
Yep,
Right.
yep.
Got
And
it.
why is that interesting there? Because Nigeria has 200 million people.
But just from the terms of this blockchain, it doesn't have a coin or a token, or does it?
It does.
It does.
Yes.
What's the ticker?
What's the what?
What's the ticker? How do we find it on exchange? It's not trading on exchanges, not.
No. So just to be clear, this is just what are we developing. We are now at the stage that we are picking the mining production that's going to be used. So it's a startup in a phase like this is. We went through seed, and now we are at this stage. The technology is being built, the wallets are used, the client is there. Once again, it's all about the legal and compliance, because these are STOs that can be unlocked into utility tokens. But it's a process.
Okay, so for now you don't know the name of the coin.
It's a Pink Panda coin. It's not my idea, it's the idea of my co-founder.
Pink Panda.
Yes, next gen chain. I think it sounds quite serious, but he thinks that Pink Panda is much more attractive and people will they will remember it. So yes, the name is Pink Panda.
Somehow we missed that in the presentation.
I didn't put it in.
Okay, good.
But there is a website. It's really cute with pink pandas.
Thank you so much. Any other questions? Yep.
What's the core technology of the blockchain? Is it Cosmos based?
Here are the guys who are developing it, so they can tell you all about the technology.
For the IBC function, is that on the actual chain as well? I see.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Oh, yep.
Regarding the third phase of your roadmap, will you be interested in RPC endpoints, or you will be offering your own public RPC?
I will also move it to the tech guys.
Public RPC, your own, you will create, publish the URL on your website, and that will be it for the. I see. Thank you.
Any other questions? If not, thank you again very much.
Thank you,
Emilija.
guys. Thank you so much.